What you're about to watch is a training that I give with a private coaching client here in Singapore, and it's on a very important onboarding process and the use of the onboarding tool, which is our welcome booklet. The welcome booklet, it's really great for the first 28 to 30 days of chiropractic care, and we use this for retention, referrals, and reactivations. And how you onboard clients needs to be really well thought about. BJ Palmer's famous for saying symptoms sell, and they do, and he'd be right. But you've got about 4 weeks to alter the reason why people are coming into you. So in this training, you're just going to learn a little bit of the thought behind the welcome booklet and how the CA can complement really nicely with the chiropractor in the handover of welcoming a new client into chiropractic care. And we have to do this at a pace that's really relevant to the client. Most people don't care about chiropractic care at the start. They'd rather have one neck crack and finished for life. And we stand on the other end of the spectrum thinking chiropractic's great forever. But if you introduce that concept too quickly, you miss this very strategic manner of or methodology of ascending clients through their understanding of why they're there. But this tool is the thing that gets a person from this apathetic idea to at least some sort of awareness that they've got agency in their healing, and it needs to be done skillfully to keep people's attention. So enjoy the film. So the very first page, one thing I just failed to mention before, but you'll notice that with the book, each time you do it a little bit differently, depending on who you got in front of you, depending on what mood you're in or whatever, you know. But just say, look, we're going to assess your current realities today. Sometimes I get a pen and I just circle that. Current reality. We're going to assess your current reality today. And how we do that, we're going to do an examination. We're going to first talk about your health history, then the doctor's going to do an examination and some testing, and they'll let you know if they can help you or not. Sound good? Something like this, yeah? Great, so moving along, so that's just page one of it, but that's your main role. So this just ensures a great, warm, friendly introduction to a person who's potentially nervous, doesn't really want to be there, doesn't know anything about chiropractic. This is just a great bridge for these people. So I just have a bit of compassion for the fact that Singaporeans generally at large don't know anything about what we do, and this is going to be a bridging tool, yeah?
And guys, there are certain clinics where it's going to be a lot nicer if you sit down beside the new client and explain this, as opposed to standing at reception while they're standing there and talking over reception. Now you can make that judgment based on how your clinic and how your reception desk is set up, but in some instances, having them take a seat and sitting down with them to explain it is going to be, in my opinion, the most personable way.
Yeah, and some people will give you body language that lets you do that. It's quite a nuance, actually. What Emma's just mentioning now, you really have to use your instincts to pick up on that. So yesterday we had a new client from Switzerland, and I don't know if you guys know much about the Swiss people, but they're not the warmest. They take a bit of distance. They're kind of formal, right? So a Swiss person, they won't like it if you really get too close, you know, but in Aussie, we love it. Like, just come and be friendly, you know, the quicker the better kind of thing. Yesterday, Verena handled her very nicely. She was kind of new to Singapore, which a lot of expat clients are, and you always break the ice with, where are you from? So her way of getting rapport is always like, where are you from? How long have you been in Singapore? And just with some clients, they don't want to talk. They just sit there and you just back off, just naturally. But yesterday, she was up for anything from spicy food through to, and it made my interaction with her so infinitely easier, you know, because Verena had told her what's going to happen, and that just opened up a bit. And you don't always have time for that. I realise you're running a busy office, so you've got things to do. But when you do, don't just twiddle your thumbs and go back and not use it. Use the opportunities to get to know a fellow human being, you know. It's wonderful. So anyway, you guys are really on that really nicely. But that's the biggest take home from today's study, is just that part. Right now, I'm just going to whiz you through the welcome booklet, what you're going to see with what the doctors are going to do. You don't need to hold yourself too busy with this, yeah? So we're going to fill in a page. This is a part of the validation of a client, is to let them know that we've heard them. They're going to get gradings of what sort of head carriage they've got. They're going to get a drawing on here with a posture picture. This page is actually going to be quite messy. It's going to be, the chiropractor is going to bring it alive like this. So it's just, there's something about not everything being digital. They're going to write down the history. I actually put in brackets. If someone says to me, I've got a crooked back, I repeat that back to them. You've got a crooked back. You know, so I like to use the words that they use, just so that they know I've listened. I don't just hear a word and then just go off on my own translation of it, right? So they're going to get ranges of motion, they're going to get leg length, they're going to get the scales of the weight of the body are going to be put in there. You guys don't need to be bothered with this though, for your use of the tool. I have the schedule down here for people. I'm not sure where you guys have it, but we'll find that as a team as the time goes on where it's best to write their schedule. Then we got on to the specific subluxations. I always draw on here. So I just draw a couple of little things on here. The chiropractor is going to say, look, there's 3 main areas of your spine that have got subluxations, or 2 or 5 or whatever it is. And then they just do a few drawings on here and explain that to the client. Yeah. Once again, you don't have to worry about this just yet. Then we're going to give them a category, a number. What's really important for you guys, it's written in a slightly different way. I think it's called a zone with you. So what's really cool about this, and you're going to get asked this, some clients are going to ask you, I think my wife's a zone 1. Can chiropractic help with anxiety or headache or whatever it is, yeah? So the chiropractor is going to circle this and say, look, Kai, huh? Yeah, look, Kai, so given your age, I haven't even spoke to you privately yet, but I can think he's been in chiropractic 10 years, he looks kind of fit, he probably likes a bit of sport or something, right? So I always say, look, you're a male given these indicators. If a female had these same things, she might present with completely different symptoms like menstruation problems or worried or eczema. But anyway, the zones are there for people at home to actually look at that. So I do suggest at the front desk when they come out and the chiropractor's clearly marked what category they are or what zone they are, you can just say that to them. Just say, I have a read of category 2, zone 2 when you get home, because that's what you are. Other people present with different things. And this is just a little, this is going to occupy people's space on the table at home. So the wife, the kids, the friends coming around for a coffee, we get so many referrals just from the fact that this takes space in the family home. And you've got a zone 2. And your kid with eczema or anxiety is a zone 1. Don't get too hung up on the medical idea of what a zone 1 is, but the idea is that people can group their symptoms into something. The next thing is the health goals. So the chiropractor will say, what would you like to achieve by coming here? This is one area, what Verena does though. The next part is what can I do? So we've just come out from the report. What do you do, Verena? Well, what's the question? So the clients just come out. Before we go to take payment, before we even go to make an appointment, the clients come out with this book, and Verena's just gonna, or what do you normally do?
So when the doctor comes to the front desk, right? So the information on this part, we will take a picture of it, put it into their profile. You can either scan or take a picture of it. And then after that, so I think while the doctor is talking to patients and all that, you can do that. And then after which you can, when they are ready with you, then you can talk about the habit tracker. Okay, this is a habit tracker. So you can ask them, do you know what to do on a habit tracker? And then a road tracker. And then if they say they know, then that's fine. You don't have to do anything else.
Yeah, so what I'd prefer, just as far as a sentence goes, just to refine it, there's one thing I want you to understand from today's appointment, and you just flick to this page and just say, do you understand how this works? Most people will say yes. I don't know, at Total Health, they might decide that UCAs actually do this part. Some clinics do that and the doctor doesn't do it. I do it all myself, so it's more... And then it's like, do you understand how that table works? Because that's going to help you get better quicker and hold your adjustments. It's really important that you do your role in our relationship. And if they say yes, which mostly with me they do, because Verena sees that I've drawn on it and I've explained them how to use it, That's it. So did you understand that page? Yeah? There's a CA film also. I don't want to, we're getting a bit late on time now, aren't we? How's the time? 1:15. So we've got 15 minutes left. So I'm going to just do it in 90 seconds what I do with a client for the habit tracker. There's 4 rules that I ask everybody coming to me to do, independent of what symptoms they have. So just stand up for me. So when you're standing, I just want you to stand on 2 legs evenly. You don't have to stand up like a police officer, but I see you often leaning on one leg like this, and you're standing like this, and then you're leaning on the thing like this. You don't have to be a posture freak, but just stand on 2 legs evenly. If I do the adjustments and you go and stand like this, it's like we're counselling each other. I really need your help. Great. The second thing, have a seat and just wiggle your bottom on the chair, and you feel you've got those 2 sitting bones. So I just want you to sit on those 2 sitting bones. You can put your legs like this, like Kai is, no worries, but I'd prefer that you don't do all this sort of thing. You can make a bit of humour with it actually, and I always say to clients, I'm not pointing the finger, it's just like you're going to hold your adjustments. Especially some people, they text with the phone this way, and you can say to them, the reason why you do that is because your spine's like that. So your brain just says, oh, well, I'll sit like that. People even look quite comfortable sitting like this. But if we're going to adjust them, once again, you don't have to sit up like a police officer. Just relax, but have the body going through there, yeah? The next thing is the body weight. So we know their body weight is like 55 kilos, let's say. And I always divide that by 35. And that's how much water you have to drink. So let's say it's 70, just for easy math. That means you need to drink 2 litres of water a day. That's as an opportunity to be personal, huh? So you'll see on that habit tracker there, I'll literally write down their body weight. I'll write down their body weight in front of them, because I'll know it from the scales, you know. Now, not everybody likes that. Some people do, some people don't. Once again, you'll find your way with it. But I really write down, oh, look, you're 70 kilos. That means you drink 2 litres a day. And then I'll say something like, how much water is that water bottle that you're carrying with you? Oh, that's 500 mils. Great, you need to drink 4 of those. I just make it personal. Everyone knows you need to drink 8 litres of water a day. No one 8 glasses. It's a bit generic. Do you know what I mean? So let's make it personal. And the last one is I just need you to have a 30-minute walk every day. Movement helps my work come into your body. You sit 8 to 10 hours a day in banking, finance, tech, and you come to me to get fixed. Like, spare a thought for me. I'm not a miracle worker. I need you to move your body. That's what you can do. Do you think you can do that? Yes. The other thing is, one question that we forgot to mention is, does this make sense to you? So if you're asking the person, do you understand how it works? You can also, sometimes, you don't have to do it always, I want people leaving the office thinking what total health, as a team, what we're asking you to do makes sense to me. Yeah? So people will buy chiropractic care based on emotion, but they'll always qualify it based on logic and reasoning. So very quickly we need to get into this logical reasoning pattern. Okay, I'm asking you to stand on 2 legs. You're coming into with a headache, you know? Does it make sense to you that this might be related to your headache? It's a really nice thing to ask people. Yeah, and don't worry if you don't know all the answers. Well, how's that got to do with my headache? Just talk to your doctor about it. Just learn this, or watch my films on the platform. Yeah? Great. My little clicker. So that's the habit tracker. There's some pictures there of Verena. Results are really not a good indicator of people sticking around long term. So if people are not getting results and they're complaining that they're not getting results, which sometimes people do, they kind of demand, please don't give up on them. Have a really soft spot for them and realize they can actually turn out to be some really great clients. And vice versa, people that do get results don't necessarily mean that they're going to be great clients. I've adjusted people that have had headaches for 25 years and the headaches went away after 3 adjustments and they just stop. It's like, wow, 25 years of headaches, but they got what they came for, you know? People need agency in their healing process. One thing we all like is that we've got some sort of responsibility, some sort of power in this process. And that habit tracker does it, yeah? 40% of people will fill that in, the other 60% won't just engage with it. But the ones that do engage with it, they're really easier to encourage into long-term care, yeah? Sometimes people even cut that out and put it on the fridge. Sometimes people bring it back every visit. That's 1% of people though. So please don't think everyone's gonna all of a sudden be walking around with a welcome booklet. But I don't want to spill the beans on all the ways that clients use this. I want you guys I want you to be discovering the tool in your own kind of way, yeah? I provide the tool, and as the months roll on with our training, I just want to hear all the ways that you guys have discovered, you know? If I just tell everything, it's too much me. So these are the first 4 vortex things. Stand on both legs, so like this, not like this. Sit on both sitting bones. This is what the chiropractors are going to tell the clients. And then there's one page in there about how us chiropractors do our work. We just flick over that. I say, look, you can have a read of that when you get home. So you don't think you need to go through every page through the document, huh? But it gives people time to browse. I think Dr. Tom said all your clients have a Denerol. I want them to use this instead of the one in the Denerol packet because it keeps people coming back to this document every day. We want people revisiting this, yeah, for at least 28 days. How it works. Gosh, this is such a nice paper, isn't it? It's actually nicer than mine. I don't know what happened there. It's premium, baby. We like premium. So how we do our work. One thing I do mention, look, you're coming to us at the start. The rhythm that you come is really important. Healing is not always a linear thing. So if this is time and this is the results, everyone thinks that you come and it just gets better. You know, at least that's what they wish. But actually, the reality of it is quite a convoluted. Like, you might feel great after your first adjustment, and then you think, gosh, what did he do with me today? And now I've got other pain I've never even had before. Just have the courage to reframe that with the clients. Just say, look, it's a convoluted process. So it's just not, it will tend up and to the right. You can say that with most people, unless they've had a big car accident where their spine's obviously destroyed, or they're above 70, where there's a lot more limits to the improvement that we can make. So one thing that's going to help is that you stick to the rhythm of your scheduled adjustments. Please don't go and make your own thing, even when you're feeling better. So I like to get ahead of people with this. It's tempting to come less when you start feeling better, but let me decide that at the start. It's like I need to push your body into a corner and rebuild it and not let it out for a moment. And then at a certain point, your body will start holding its adjustments from one visit to the next. And that's when we can start to space the time out. That's actually when you get better results. It's funny, you get less adjustments, you get better results. That's the long-term kind of thing with chiropractic. What's the next page? We can just do it here. Yeah, there's a little bit about your mission statement, purpose. I don't go through that with our clients, but please, they'll read that at home. You don't even have to mention this. That next page, you don't have to mention anything. And just when they're leaving, I really like the booklet when you've just finished everything and just say, just remember it, chiropractic's not an event, it's a process. Sometimes you'll say that with clients, sometimes not. Sometimes I open with this. There's a big difference between, especially if somebody tells me, I've been to this doctor, I've tried that TCM, I've tried this medication. I'll say, well, they're treatment things of a symptom. We're working with the cause. And other times I'll use that. Just remember, chiropractic's not an event. It's a process. It's going to take some time to go through this. And then they leave with it. Great. Yeah. That's the welcome booklet. What a great tool, no? Yeah? There's a lot of work gone into it, and it's amazing how much effort goes into making something simple. Hi, thank you for watching so far. Like many tools, they're not going to jump out and do this without yourself, but if you'd like a copy of the template that I use to onboard clients, the all-important onboarding process that turns short-term people that are sold to into long-term buyers, there's a link in the description down. There's also a training included with it, but you can go onto the link, you can get the Canva template and alter your branding from my branding into your branding, and any personal photos in here of mine, you can easily convert them into your own. Then watch the training in how I use it for retention, referrals and reactivations. Okay, I'll see you in the next film.